from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It's Week 4 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Cleveland Browns.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at... So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. Shifts by him. A check on the numbers for Chubb from a week ago. Pretty good as he found himself in the end zone on 2 separate occasions.
And those are the most important numbers because no matter what you pile up prior to the goal line, getting in is all that matters. Putting those numbers up on the board, and they love them when they're 6s.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season-open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a long night.
Chubb. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
This defense for the Vikings, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
First down marker at the 31. It's 3rd down. Now Kaepernick. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And his kick is indeed good, and that will tie us at 3-3. The Browns drive about to get started. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take
pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. Behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 15. They run. Chubb. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
That one is caught by Hunt. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a 1st down.
Play action. Now Kaepernick. He's going to drop this one down for Chubb. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
A throw over the middle taken in. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. That's some good hard running there as he'll push his way forward for about 5. The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. They'll give it to Chubb. And he takes this one in for a Brown score. Nick Chubb, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys have now moved out in front. And that is what you call lowering the boom down near the goal line. He was going to force his way in no matter what.
They always talk about low man wins when it comes to the offensive line, having the leverage to move the defenders. It's strong.
The Browns drive about to get started. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. It doesn't matter where you start with the football now. They have to feel great about their opportunity.
And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. 61 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this 1st half. On 1st and 10, here's Kaepernick. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 1st downs given up. They've got to find the answers, and they've got to find them quick.
A gain of 6 there on 1st. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
This offense #1 in the NFL in picking up first downs, and their run game got him another one there.
A really good stat to lead the league in, isn't it? Because if you keep picking up first downs, sustaining drives, that means you're controlling the football, controlling the clock, and letting your defense rest on the sidelines.
A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's second down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
And it's intercepted at the goal line. And Xavier Woods with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys... And now this offense gets ready to take over the football, 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. To throw, it's Kaepernick. This is the tight end, Njoku. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. The Browns on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Steps away to his left. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off at the 13. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. And quickly they get to the line. Kaepernick now on 1st down. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. Again, they'll throw with Kaepernick. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
I have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
Here's Kaepernick. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. The coverage excellent there downfield, and it leads to a 4th down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. The Browns drive about to get started. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Now Kaepernick operating on the bootleg. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Oh, a lot of credit to the play caller here. He saw the design in his mind and implemented it. A little zone stretcher here because they started the tight end on the left side of the formation and sent him on a crossing route. And this works really well when you can find that space between levels, and they were able to do so for good yardage. This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 86 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Kaepernick going to throw. Swings this out for Hunt. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Here's Kaepernick to throw. Flushed out right. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. This is Hunt on the draw play. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. The Browns drive about to get started. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete, and he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. A big play that time on the catch and run. The offense has to love that because that was just a dump down, and then he turned something out of seemingly nothing.
And the best quarterbacks understand that dumping it down is often a good play, a better play than even what was drawn up.
Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
On 3rd and long, it's Kaepernick. He finds his man, complete. That's Hunt. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back, and he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield, everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield, and he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting.
Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. David Njoku, his second touchdown on the season. And the Browns go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well. The Browns drive about to get started. They had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone, and with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays, eat up chunks of yardage, and cut down the number of times you have to snap the football.
That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll make it third down. To throw is Kaepernick. Pushes him over. And he's going to have the first down as he's marked down just shy of the 20.
That's just what you call a chain mover right there. Nothing fancy. Get the ball out to the back, and you're asking him to make a little bit extra out of maybe what is nothing. And he does exactly that. Picks up the first down. I can't wait till we get to the point, partner, where we're not saying chain mover, but we're saying laser pointer. Picks it up for the first down. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. On play action, it's Kaepernick. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of
the Browns drive about to get started. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. 8 yards to go on second down. Now it's the backup Mayfield. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Mayfield on play action. He'll buy some time right. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Mayfield looks to throw. This is caught by Williams. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 32-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Play fake, Mayfield. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. To throw, Mayfield. And that is taken in by Njoku. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 20-yard line. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Mayfield to throw it. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And the Browns are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to ball his way down to about the 1-yard line. 118 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Mayfield, and he fends him off. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. Dalvin Tomlinson drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. The Browns drive about to get started. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Powers through him, flexing his muscle again. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. But the bad news for them, they've seen that cushion they once had totally evaporate, and they're working from behind. The good news, they now have the opportunity to regain the lead right back. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. And this belongs to the Vikings.
We have seen this before.
The Browns drive about to get started. Yeah, the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit. A first down throw for Mayfield. He's got Njoku over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Meanwhile, Mayfield's throw taken in by Landry. And they're going to speed things up here. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They go play action. Mayfield. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hunt. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Handoff comes to Chubb. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. It's a gain of a yard, and it takes us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 3rd and goal now as they try to punch in a late touchdown. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. This will be just a 21-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. A great come-from-behind victory in this one, Charles. And really the difference, obviously, was that 4th quarter. They dominated.
And it has to start with believing that you can make that comeback. Because we've been in games before. We've done games where you just look at one team and realize they have no chance of making it back. Not in the one we just saw here. They did it, and they did it well.